Good evening, this is Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. We have a packed show for you tonight, beginning with Pakistani media reports that say that the Pakistan probe team for Pathankot says the attack was staged by India. India has retaliated, saying that this report is concocted, that this is psychological warfare by the ISI. Has India's Pakistan policy backfired? Also tonight, Nitish Kumar announces a total prohibition in Bihar, a complete alcohol ban, saying it's time for social change. But do blanket bans really work? And as the RBI cuts interest rates, will your loans become cheaper now? That's coming up in a little while from now. But first, the big story today, a report in a Pakistani newspaper claiming that the joint investigation team probing the Pathankot terror attack has rubbished India's evidence and concluded that the attack was a staged drama. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu reacted today, calling it a drama by Pakistan, while top officials from the government have said the report is concocted and that they believe this is psychological warfare by the ISI and the Pakistani army. But the controversy also took an ugly political turn, with the Aam Aadmi Party's attack on Prime Minister Modi and AAP Minister Kapil Mishra even calling the PM an ISI agent. The BJP strongly hit back.
This report in a Pakistani newspaper claims that the joint investigation team probing the Pathankot terrorist attack has rubbished India's evidence and concluded that the attack was a drama staged to malign Pakistan and that India used the attack as a tool to expand its vicious propaganda against Pakistan without any solid evidence. The reports also led to a political spat between the government and the opposition.
किसी भी प्रधानमंत्री ने पाकिस्तान के सामने इस तरह से घुटने नहीं टेके जितने श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने घुटने टेके हैं पाकिस्तान के सामने.
Kejriwal's Minister Kapil Mishra took it a step further, tweeting, "Do we have an ISI agent as Prime Minister now? It's very serious the way PM is surrendering to anti-India forces."
लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से निर्वाचित मुख्यमंत्री हिंदुस्तान के लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से निर्वाचित प्रधानमंत्री को ISI एजेंट बता दे.
Pakistan and its establishment, its agencies, use the occasion, A, to portray India in bad light.
Government sources have hit back at the Pakistani claims, saying they believe that this is part of the psychological warfare of the ISI and the army to leak reports to sections of the media. They say India will go by what Pakistani officially conveys and action on the ground. NIA sources say India has given enough evidence, including intercepts, phone records and DNA proof. As the politics plays out, the real test of Pakistan's sincerity will be known based on how it acts on the evidence. An NDTV Bureau report.
Well, the question is whether India's Pakistan policy has backfired. Should the JIT have been allowed to come to India at all? Joining us on the program tonight, first we have Major General Rashid Qureshi, the former spokesperson to President Musharraf, joining us from Islamabad. Also joining us, Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, and the national spokesperson of the Congress, Tom Vadakan, is here in the studio with us. General Qureshi, to you first, how much credence should India give to these reports that have been coming in, not only in this newspaper, Pakistan Today, but also in some other media outlets over the last few days that have suggested that the JIT has gone back thinking that there really isn't much to the Pathankot attack?
Frankly, what you've said just now about a report in one of the newspapers in Pakistan, which doesn't have great circulation, is something that I haven't read. And although one keeps hearing of insufficient evidence, and these are all rumors and things that we keep hearing here and there of the evidence that was provided to the JIT and the restrictions on their movement and what they can examine, there has been no official
word
saying or statement that has said that India has staged this drama. So frankly, I was quite surprised to hear you when I came on this television show that this is what people have said. And if it's one newspaper, I don't think it's the view of the government of Pakistan. From what we will hear in the next few days is something that India needs to analyze. If it comes directly from the government, I don't think an odd newspaper, either in India or Pakistan, will have access to the JIT or the information or the things that they've gathered.
Right. Well, you do make a good point about this being one newspaper, but there have been reports that have appeared in other sections of the media, Geo News and other publications that have suggested that there is insufficient evidence to go far as to say whether this was a staged attack. You're right. We'll have to wait and see if there's official word on that. Yet, Sambit Patra, we've seen a strong reaction from Mr. Naidu today as a senior government minister. We have heard from top government officials, from the MEA, from the MHA, calling this a concocted report, calling this psychological warfare by the ISI and the army. Would you concede, Sambit, that it does make the Pakistan policy look a little frayed right now?
Not at all. Remember, as far as foreign policy is concerned, patience is the cornerstone of any foreign policy. I mean, going by what, in fact, what Mr. Musharraf's spokesperson was right now saying from Pakistan, that these are rumors. If we go by rumors, then I think patience is the last word. I mean, look, speculating on something which is not right, not waiting for the official version of Pakistan and reacting to that in a rhetorical fashion is something which should be kept away from serious business of foreign policy. So I believe both the Congress party and the Aam Aadmi party should have held back their horses and should not have reacted with the speed with which they reacted, because I think the prime aim of these political parties were to gain some brownie political points rather than the seriousness of foreign policy.
Tom Vardakan? Yeah, okay, so finish your point. Yes, go ahead, Sambit.
I'll be very quick in finishing my point. Remember, as far as this government is concerned, there are three broad principles on which the foreign policy with Pakistan is based. Principle number one, we want dialogue with Pakistan. Principle number two, talks and terror cannot move together. Principle number three, it has to be bilateral talk. There is no space for any third entity as far as talk between India and Pakistan is concerned, and this government has been consistently following this path.
Well, Tom Vardakan, does the BJP then make a point? Why is the opposition rushing in to attack the government when we don't actually have official word on this? Because there was quite a scathing attack first launched by Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi party, and then Anand Sharma of the Congress party.
Maybe you have got to look into the background. He's being very theoretical when Dr. Patra says the 3 points he made. Essentially, they are contradiction in real terms. He talks about patience at one point. Where was this patience when we were in government? They were jumping the gun all the time, telling us what to do and what not to do. Now, here is a situation. The story starts from Mofa. There was, you had the spokesman, Mr. M.J. Akbar, declaring this is the greatest breakthrough that has ever occurred. And maybe the next Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize was going the NDA way. Be what it may, I'm not onto that. There were 12 dossiers submitted at that point of time, but it was by the previous government. This government said, no, we'll provide you more. That means your government decided to set aside your own government's documentation. Be what it may, you moved a step forward. Then what was it? Then there was a discussion between the NSAs. Then there was this Prime Minister's visit for the marriage or birthday ceremonies, what have you. The reply came in terms of attack in Pathankot and the various other attacks. Attacks happened. What follows is the talks are cancelled, all that jumbo goes on. But at the same time, never has it happened that you have a team with ISI agents coming to the very location to investigate.
But we don't yet officially know what the outcome of that their
55 minutes. Is. No, let me be candid enough. 55 minutes they spend, and these are the same people who send these terrorists. Let me be very candid on this. They are the same people who operate. They are what you in terminology would call mentors of these terrorists, who have come here to find out not what happened there. They were here to find out why it misfired. And today there's a report. The spokesman from Pakistan says it is a not very highly circulated newspaper. But the authenticity, this is standard practice of the ISI. They leak it to one paper.
I want to ask, Sambit, just let me ask General Qureshi this question. General Qureshi, okay, now, these reports have appeared in the Pakistani press for a couple of days, raising question. All right, I think we've lost the line to Pakistan. Sambit, I think the point also is, and I think this is what I was going to ask General Qureshi as well, the Pakistani government could have denied these reports today. because they have made headlines in India all day, and government officials here are describing it as psychological warfare, and that only proves how difficult it is to deal with Pakistan in a country that indulges in doublespeak on terrorism.
See, that's where I say the use of word patience is absolutely important when we are discussing foreign policy. As far as your question is, the Pakistani dispensation should have denied what is there in the newspapers. I would say when they have not submitted a report, when we have not gone by the report, when we have not asked a question on the report. So why should foreign policy be based on the background or on the foundation of speculation? The most dangerous thing for a foreign policy is to be based on the foundation stone of speculations, and that's the reason as to why I condemn the way the political parties, the opposition in this country behaved. Number two, as far as newspapers are concerned, well, there were a few newspapers or one odd newspaper and a few news channels probably in Pakistan which aired this speculative news. My concern is, why go to the Pakistani newspapers and read them? Why don't you read the Indian newspapers? The Indian newspapers, in fact, I have gone through most of the Indian newspaper these 5 or 6 days. In fact, the presentation of the Indian newspaper was when the JIT was confronted by the technical, scientific and irrefutable evidences from the NIA. In fact, the JIT was speechless.